One of the key issues in the case was identification. In fact, it was the only issue. And Detective Massanova conducted an identification procedure showing various photographs of the catch unit, 2 witnesses at the scene, and he formed photo arrays of suspects. And their remarks, after looking at the photographs, were written down by Detective Massanova on little slips of paper. Afterwards, he took these little slips of paper and he created a diagram. This is the diagram created by the detective. As you can see, this photo array report was reduced to a chart by Detective Danny Massanova. In this police report, the only key report that was ever turned over to the defense, a report, by the way, that the people responded that the report is in error, and the gravity of that is so momentous, I can't begin to stress it enough. This is a copy of the police report that is in error, conceded by the people to be damning, quote unquote. James G. Rodriguez, Assistant District Attorney, stated that Detective Daniel Massanova prepared an incorrect photo array report. He admitted and conceded that the array was incorrect in several aspects. This photo array was the only piece of evidence, the only police report on identification procedures that was turned over to the defense on these witnesses who were gathered up together in the catch unit at a period of time when they were very vulnerable and very tired and knew each other, at a period of time when they were under pressure, scared to death that they would be arrested, that they were suspected of being felons themselves. None of them were clean. All of them had rap sheets. All of them had been involved with the criminal justice system. All of them had been guilty of something, except perhaps Hazani Woodard, and she's the one they let go. The word nobody crossed out in column 1 is admittedly a mistake. Detective Massanova has informed me that the Woodard and nobody entries are simply mistakes. There's no such thing as a simple mistake in an identification case when it's an identification witness and an identification statement. All of those issues rise to the level of a new trial. They are that serious. They are that prejudicial. They have that much weight in affecting the verdict at trial. How they could be utilized in the hands of a skilled defense attorney who is cross-examining a witness on impeaching other witnesses is unimaginable, and the Supreme Court has so stated that. The witnesses who were at the scene are lined up here, not all of them, just certain ones. And in his report, Detective Massanova had a photo array of Fernando Bermudez, which he called photo array number 1. Photo array number 2 is the photo array of Efrain Lopez. And if you read the report, everyone who saw it would identify Efrain Lopez as the kid who got punched out in the Mark Ballroom. Photo array number 3 is a photo array of Wilmer Rodriguez. Wilmer Rodriguez was a suspect who was chosen by Jamie Velasquez at the catch unit. Jamie Velasquez, it must be stated here, did not see the shooting, but she could identify certain people that she remembered from the Mark Ballroom or from the street. That was her only value. The same could be said of 300 other people who were also at the Mark Ballroom and in the street fighting. She picked out this man's photo, and so his photo was placed in a photo array and shown to the witnesses at the scene. What's so curious about this is that almost every witness who saw the photo array number 3, that of Wilmer Rodriguez, said he was there. He was at the scene. He was an active perp. He was a perpetrator. And this attorney interviewed Wilmer Rodriguez. The police never did. And he admitted that he was there, doing what they were doing. He was not the shooter of Dred Blount, but he was someone who looks remarkably like the defendant, which gives some reason for why Jamie Velasquez chose as her second selection the photo of the defendant. Now, photo array number 4 is the photo array of Jose Rodriguez, the owner of a Jeep. He was in the Jeep the night of the shooting. He was on the corner where the shooting took place. He was on the street right next to the victim when he was shot, and he knows who the shooter is. Subsequently to this array, this person, the subject of photo array number 4, told this attorney that Luis Munoz is indeed the shooter. Lawrence Darden's statement is omitted when he viewed photo array number 1, that's the defendant's array. Detective Massanova made a notation NA instead of giving Larry Darden's true statement, which was that that's not the guy. His statement that he made would have exonerated the defendant. Michael Thompson recanted his statement, incriminating number 2. Cozy Boyce exonerates the defendant. Here we have a little bit of a problem. Terrence Hall says this is not true. He never identified number 2. It's important to note that Cozy Boyce, Terrence Hall, and Lawrence Darden, all of whom gave negative identifications, exculpatory statements, were the closest to the victim when he was shot. This is an identification case. They not only were closest to the victim, they were the victim's friends and bodyguards. They were within inches of the victim. They know who it was that they were describing as a shooter. They described a suspect 5'9", 150 pounds. Fernando Bermudez at this time was 6'2" and 230 pounds. There is no way they would have mistaken Fernando Bermudez for Luis Munoz, the shooter in this case. Opa Ayesi, his statement is here, and he's hence, since this time, has recanted his statement as a pure fabrication. Jamie Velasquez's statement is not here, and that's key because this X next to her name, it gives a false impression to the defense attorney. It gives the defense attorney the impression that the police are claiming Jamie was never shown the photo array. You know, the person who selected the photo at catch should not be shown the photo array. They would be identifying the photo they selected, not someone new. So they're not supposed to see a photo array. But Jamie Velasquez was shown this photo array. Opa Ayesi and Lawrence Darden, who chose Shorty Lopez at the catch unit, was shown the photo array, even though the photo array report gives them an X, meaning they never saw it. So it is completely an error, and the prosecutor's admitting it. The reason that the prosecutor had to admit that was that Ayesi said it out loud in his trial testimony. He's a prosecution witness, but he told the truth about the identification procedures. We were all together. I was looking over Larry Darden's shoulder, and I said, that's him, and Larry said, yeah, that's him, and everybody came over and said, yeah, that's him. And so you had an illegal procedure being lied about at the Wade hearing by Detective Lentini, who said they never were together. They knew each other, but they never were together. They never looked at photos together. I guess he testified at trial that he did. Speaking to Jamie after the trial, Jamie said, of course I saw the photo array of the defendant. Of course I saw it, and I made a statement. Her statement is relevant even though it's inculpatory. And here's why. Her statement, that's the kid with the gold chain who reached behind his back for a gun, is Jamie's statement. But look at the chart. It's in the mouth of someone else. This statement should be here in this box. This statement, nobody, should be here in Hassani Woodard's column. Confused himself, Detective Massanova crossed out the statement that didn't make any sense to him, crossed out the witness that made the negative identification of nobody, and let it be that that witness did not exist. Well, this attorney found that witness, and she certainly does exist. And she gave affidavits stating that she was at the catch unit, stating that she gave a nobody statement when shown the photo array, stating that she was with Jamie Velasquez, a key prosecution witness, the entire time that this incident went down. So here you have an exculpatory witness who is key, who doesn't know the defendant. She doesn't know anything about the trial. She's never called to trial because she's not on their report. The police have not given her over in discovery. So she is not called to trial. She could have exonerated the defendant. She could have changed the verdict. She could have impeached a key witness, many of the key witnesses. Here's another one, Jose Rodriguez. He was at the scene. He was inculpated at the scene. He was given a deal and he walked away. He never said number 2. The statement attributed to him never came out of his mouth. Jose gave me an affidavit after the trial was over and we began our research for a 440 motion. He said, I never said that. Marianne, I never said that. Number 2, that's the kid with the